You're driving across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. It's 4.3 miles of open water, and you're already past the point where turning around is an option. There's no shoulder. The lanes are 11 feet wide, narrower than a standard highway lane, and the wind is coming off the bay in 40-mile-an-hour gusts. You can feel the car drifting, not sliding, drifting, like the bridge is trying to decide where to put you. 25 million people make this crossing every year, and most of them have no idea that state inspectors have flagged this bridge in 3 consecutive reports. Not ancient reports, recent ones. And here's the thing, the bridge is still open. It's open right now. There's even a service where you can pay someone $25 to drive your car across for you, because so many people have gotten out there and completely frozen. That service exists. It does real business. So if you've ever felt a little uneasy on a long bridge, you might want to brace yourself, because this is number 10, and it only gets worse from here. Number 9 is in Michigan. The Mackinac Bridge is 5 miles long. 5 miles of suspension cable over the Straits of Mackinac, where Lake Michigan meets Lake Huron, and the wind comes from every direction at once. But the thing that keeps engineers awake about this bridge isn't the length or the height. It's the center lane. Deck in the middle is open steel grating, not pavement. A grid of steel you can look straight down through to the water 200 feet below, and that grating is a deliberate engineering choice. It reduces wind resistance on the structure itself. What it also does is turn the underside of your car into a wing. In a crosswind at highway speed, the car wants to lift. 2 vehicles have gone off this bridge, confirmed. One in 1989. The state's response was to offer to transport certain vehicles across during high wind advisories. The grating is still there. Most drivers have no idea what they're driving on until they feel the tires start to float. Number 8 is in Colorado, but it doesn't feel like Colorado. The Royal Gorge Bridge hangs 956 feet above the Arkansas River. That's nearly 1,000 feet of nothing under your feet. It's the highest bridge in the United States open to the public, and it was built in 1929. The cables holding that bridge up are the original 1929 installation. 95 years of freeze and thaw cycles, of metal expanding and contracting, of microfractures you can't see from the outside. And then in 2013, wildfire burned across the gorge. The flames got close enough to heat the steel. Heat changes the structural properties of steel, the way it holds tension, the way it fails. Independent engineers raised concerns after the fire. They said the cables needed replacement. The official response was that the bridge had been inspected and was safe to reopen. It reopened 10 months later. You're still crossing on those cables today. Number 7 is in Louisiana, and once you're on it, you start doing the math in your head. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is 24 miles long, the longest bridge over water in the United States. For 8 miles in the middle of that crossing, you cannot see land in any direction. Just water, every direction all the way to the horizon. 1 lane each way, no exits, no U-turns, 40,000 crossings a day. And underneath those 24 miles of bridge pilings are driven into soft Gulf sediment, the same kind of ground that liquefies in a significant earthquake. Seismologists have been revising their understanding of the fault zones under New Orleans for years. If a major event hits while you're in that middle 8 miles, there's a specific kind of math you start doing, and none of the answers are good. Number 6 is a bridge most people have never heard of, and that's exactly the problem. The I-90 Portage Lake Lift Bridge in Michigan is over 100 years old. It carries Interstate 90. Federal inspection reports flagged it as needing replacement back in 2003. It is still carrying interstate traffic today, including fully loaded semis, trucks that weigh more than this bridge was ever designed to handle. Here's what engineers actually mean when they say a bridge has exceeded its design life. Structure doesn't collapse the day the number runs out. What happens is it enters a zone where the engineers can no longer tell you with confidence what the next heavy truck, the next hard frost, the next flood surge will do. That's the zone this bridge has been operating in for over 20 years, and there are 42,000 bridges in the United States currently rated structurally deficient. This is one of them, and I-90 traffic doesn't stop for it. Number 5 is in Florida, and its history is carved into the water below it. The original Sunshine Skyway Bridge was struck by a freighter in 1980. The collision dropped a section of the bridge into Tampa Bay. 35 people died. The new bridge was built with what are called dolphins, massive concrete barriers designed to absorb a ship strike. And they work. They were designed to work. For the ships that existed in 1980, modern container vessels are 3 and 4 times heavier than the tankers those barriers were sized for. The shipping channel below the Skyway is one of the busiest on the Gulf Coast, and traffic has tripled since the dolphins went in. Some port traffic engineers have raised the load discrepancy in internal reviews. The official position is that the barriers are adequate. Down below you, right now, ships that could overwhelm those barriers are passing through on a daily schedule. Most drivers crossing the Skyway have no idea the protection underneath them was calculated for a fleet that no longer exists. Number 4 is in Alabama, and locals gave it a name a long time ago. They call it the Singing Bridge. Under certain wind conditions, the old Singing River Bridge hums, an audible tone. And if you know what that sound actually means, you don't find it charming. The hum is the deck vibrating at a frequency close to the bridge's own natural structural frequency. That's the same mechanism that brought down the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in Washington in 1940. Film footage you've probably seen, a suspension bridge twisting apart in 42-mile-per-hour winds. The Singing River Bridge sits in a region where those wind speeds are routine, and there are hundreds of open grading deck bridges in the southeastern United States with no resonance monitoring installed, no sensor watching for that frequency. When the bridge starts singing, the drivers on it are the monitoring system. Number 3 is the Hernando de Soto Bridge in Memphis, and the most terrifying thing about it isn't the bridge. It's how the problem was found. This bridge carries 100,000 vehicles a day across the Mississippi River. In 2021, it shut down for 3 months because of a crack in a primary support system. That crack wasn't found by an inspector. It was found by a drone survey that wasn't even part of the standard inspection protocol. The bridge had passed its last official inspection. The crack was there before that inspection happened. The inspectors were doing their jobs, standard, ground-level visual checks, the way inspections are conducted on thousands of bridges across this country. They just couldn't see it from where they were standing. There are over 7,000 bridges in the United States classified as fracture critical, meaning one failed element can bring the whole span down, that are currently rated in good condition based on the same ground-level visual inspection. No drone, no imaging, just a person with a clipboard looking up. Number 2 is in Ohio, and the reason it's on this list isn't the bridge itself, it's the number it represents. The I-90 bridge over the Cuyahoga Valley has been rated structurally deficient for years. But here's what most drivers don't know. Structurally deficient is a maintenance classification. It is not a safety closure order. There is no law in the United States requiring a structurally deficient bridge to be closed. You can rate a bridge deficient 17 years running and leave it open to traffic the entire time, which is exactly what happened in Minneapolis. Number 1. The I-35W bridge in Minneapolis collapsed on August 1, 2007, rush hour. 111 vehicles went into the Mississippi River. 13 people died. 145 were injured. The National Transportation Safety Board traced the cause to gusset plates, the steel connectors holding the bridge trusses together, that were undersized in the original 1960s design. The error was there from the day the bridge was built, and over the decades, resurfacing added weight. Traffic loads increased. Trucks got heavier. Every addition pushed the plates closer to the limit without anyone knowing, because the original calculation was wrong, and nobody had gone back to check it. After the collapse, engineers identified roughly 1,500 similar bridges across the country with the same design. The I-35W bridge had been rated structurally deficient for 17 consecutive years. It was still open when it went down. And the reason it matters, the reason it's number 1, is this. Every single bridge on this list has passed a recent inspection. Every one of them has a documented problem that hasn't been fully addressed. The inspection system was designed to prioritize maintenance. It was never designed to tell you which bridge you should be afraid to cross. That question, the one you're probably asking right now, nobody in the federal system is required to answer it.